okay, they don't really know like Australian unis, right? They know USyd and UQ, and that's it. So when I tell them like I go study like and like uni in Sydney, they're like, oh, what uni? I'm like UNSW, and they're like, oh, USyd, huh?
Okay, when you first came to Australia, or when you like went to, you know, post departure, have you felt any culture shocks? So if so, what were they?
And I kind of talked about it before, but I hate the culture of everything closing so early here. It's like genuinely PMO. Like I've been like so used to, like, especially like if you go out like sometimes like if you go drinking and stuff like in Hong Kong, like when we'd do that, it's like you could still go to like Macca's afterwards or something. Like you could get the food that you wanted, but here unless you go like all the way to like Oxford Street where like it's still like actually open, nowhere else in like even in like the city like things are closed at like 9 p.m. 10 o'clock, and it's just really inconvenient. And then also another culture shock was public transport. Like in Hong Kong, like the metro system that they have here in Chatswood is like the same system they have in Hong Kong, but they have that for all of Hong Kong, and it's so much like you can get from one side to the, like, granted it's like small, it's probably at the same size as Sydney, like all of Hong Kong, but you can get from like one side to the other in half an hour, and the metros run like every 5 minutes. So if you miss one, it's 5 minutes and the next one's there. And I really, really miss that, because now like I'll get the bus into the city, and if I miss my bus, it's like, if it's on time, it's 20 minutes before the next one, but then it's never on time, so it's like 25 minutes in between buses, and I just have to kind of like awkwardly stand there, and I can't go to a coffee. There's no coffee shops near where I live, so I can't do anything in that 25 minutes. I just have to stand there at the bus stop
Yeah, so
and hope
true.
it doesn't drive past.
So, bro, like I remember when I went to Melbourne, like even like the tram system, like by, I don't know, let's say Uber, it takes like 10 minutes. It's like a 10-minute drive, but by PT takes 40 minutes. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
It's actually so infuriating.
So true. Very exy.
Well, to iterate, right? My travel in like China is like I can get to like all the way the other side of the country, and it's a big country, right?
Yep.
In 2 hours. For me to go uni is 2 hours. Like, isn't that crazy? I could be traversing all the way to Western Australia if we have a good transport system. And my bus, I live in like the only place that doesn't have like a train system, right?
Yeah.
I can only bus out of that place. It's like I could get stranded there if there's no buses. Like my buses always cancel. Like they always cancel when I'm literally at the bus stop. So I wait for 40 minutes for a bus. I could be like in Hong Kong by the time my bus comes. Like, yeah, it's just a shithole of public transport systems.
Yeah. Oh, the train strikes are nasty.
light rail.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have any culture shocks?
Yes, I have two actually. Extending on that, you know how they were building the light rail for like ages? When I first came to Australia, Central had like the middle or blocks, right? So my idea of the city was like 2 streets. I thought the middle was like permanently blocked until they opened it and revealed the light rail, and I was like, oh, okay, like I didn't realize that the city was meant to be like.
You know they used to have monorails?
Yeah, monorails.
stuff
Yeah,
like on
yeah.
the sky?
On the sky, yeah.
Bro, I thought I was dreaming about that until I read a post ages ago. They actually had that. Like, you know what also pisses me off? Everything's so far away. Like in China, you can walk 2 blocks and you get like the best meal of your life, right, for $2. Here, I have to walk like I can't even walk. Like I don't have a license, so I need to get driven places, and it's still like it's just like inconvenient everywhere.
Another thing about transport systems, I don't know if it's like this in other parts of China, but I was in Shanghai, right? But they do train stations not based on like what district you're in, but based on like a street. So basically, the nearest like train station will always be like maximum like 10-15 minutes
smart.
walk away.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's like
smart.
really easy
That's
to get
smart.
to places. They have way more stops, and it's just much easier. But yeah, that's public transport, right? But also the education system is so different here. Like, tell me why I came to Australia in year 5, and then I started learning about two-digit addition, and I'm like, Mom, I learnt this in like kindergarten, year 1.
Long
and then they're just,
division.
like, yeah, and there was like this like no shame. There was this kid in my like class who had to have like the what's it called, the multiplication table, the chart. You know how it's like 1 times 1, 2
Yeah,
times 2.
yeah.
He had to have that on his table in year 5, and I was like,
In year 5?
I swear I learned this in like year 1 max.
Year
right?
5?
Yeah, but anyways, that was a shock. But I do think that the education system in Australia is generally way more chill than China.
Mm.
Not just in primary school, but also high school, because like I see people fighting for their lives in like China year 12, and then I'm here like kind of like I wouldn't say I'm cruising along, but I feel like I'm doing fine. But
Oh yeah, because don't they, for like their version of HSC, don't they like smash in all their subjects and they can't really choose what they want to do?
you could. So there are basically 3 mandatory subjects. So you have Chinese, you have maths, and you have English, and then you can pick like 3 electives out of like a lot, not a lot, maybe like six other electives, and it's just stuff like politics. You have like biology, chemistry. Yeah, it's just like very generic subjects. You wouldn't have like any subjects like food technology or like textiles. You wouldn't have any of that, but it's like really set in. And also it's really annoying that, you know how but in Australia you have 50% of your grade internally, so through your assessment tasks that you build up, and then 50% is like in the final test, right? 100% of their thing is in the final test, and I'm like, what if you like made a mistake in the final test? Like, I don't know like fully about it, but I just know that a large portion of it is.
That for our HSC is like crashed out in a month, right? You have a month to like do all your tests. In China, it's 3 days. It's like around like 6 to 8 hours a day. You're doing complete tests, right?
Oh my god.
And the thing is, they don't have like HSC has like makeup exams, right?
Yeah.
They don't have makeup exams.
Holy.
If you don't make it there on time, you're 1 minute late, right? The gate's closed. You're done for that year.
Oh
and then
my
retake the test.
days.
Yeah, but it's really, really competitive as well. Like, there's so many people. There's so many people in China. There's so many people doing the HSC. But they do have it like at the same time across like the entire country. But they have different like papers for different regions, and some
Wow.
regions are like harder than the others. Like, or they're usually known for being harder than the others. So like, I don't know. It's really stressful is the conclusion. But Australia, like, for a lazy, chillax person like me, like I love Australia. You know. But yeah,
Yeah.
culture shock.
My culture shock was how competitive everyone in Sydney is, like with selective school and private school
Oh.
culture.
There's a term for this, like tall poppy. Wait, do you guys talk about this? Tall poppy syndrome.
I've heard of it.
Like tall poppy syndrome. It's like when everyone like Sydney is known for being really, really competitive with each other. Like you want people to fall beneath you. Like that's like everyone's mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember I was with this tutoring company, and it would be like, oh, I'm looking for a tutor for my year 1 kid to get into this selective school, and I was like, what the hell?
What is a bit early?
I was like, we should just let kids be kids. But yeah, like in Brisbane there's only like 4 selective schools, and here there's like 20, and then even then like no one really cares what school you go to. Like parents, I think in my opinion, they don't really put certain schools on a pedestal. Like no one really cares too much. Like all high schools are generally okay there. Yeah, that was my biggest culture shock.
Guys, I have a lot to say. First of all,
Okay.
people actually follow the road laws, huh? Second of all, P's, L's, what? Like, we don't have learner's license or whatever in Thailand. I kid you not, I was illegally driving
Do
at.
you want to tell us about your?
Okay, maybe. Well, okay, you know what? Cut it out. Okay, people know I was maybe illegal driving at 15.
50.
Because you could only, I kid you not, like, before you're 18, the only thing you could drive is a motorbike.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah, and then when you're 18, that's when you could get a car and stuff. And then you don't even get like a learner's license or whatever. They just give you the straight full license.
Damn, that's
I
a
didn't
culture shock for me right now.
Yeah. Also, I didn't even finish. Well, I didn't even finish my like driver's exam properly. I kid you not. I was halfway through, and the lady who was like testing us was like, "Okay, you guys are done. You can leave." And I was like, "What?"
Whoa. But I feel like also driving in Thailand is so like.
Yeah. Okay. Cause
Yeah.
you have like different lanes, right?
Literally.
You have a car going down this lane, and you're just driving whatever. Next thing you know, you're face to face with a car going the other way, and you're both just there because you're like, do I reverse? Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Hello? Like, girl, this is not your lane. Also,
Oh my days.
what else? Like, people like in Thailand, like with friends, you're like very touchy with each other immediately. Also, people that you're not really like close with, like back to the butt slapping thing. I got my butt slapped by a girl that I didn't even know. Like, hello, and I was just like, okay, hi. And so like when I moved here, I was like, are you guys like, am I allowed to hug you? Like, yeah. And what else? Like, yeah, with the whole school thing, I wasn't like ready for how like secretly competitive or like shady people can be, because like in Thailand, I mean with international schools like mine, like low-key we're kind of shady with each other too, but it's warranted. I'm gonna just say that it's warranted.
Okay.
We have
okay.
beef, but it's valid. And like, yeah, because like all the international schools like know each other, even like international schools like in other cities, we all know each other. And so like, I don't know, we didn't really have a competitive vibe, but then again, like maybe I was just like too caught up in my own world to notice, because why was I an artsy kid in a STEM school? Hello. Like, yeah. And,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just also like with people, like when you go shopping and stuff, like people are like, hey, how are you, this and that, right? And I'm like, hello, like, because I'm not used to people coming up to me and like talking to me like that. Because when you're shopping in like Asia, usually you seek the workers out, not they seek you out. So the first time someone came up to me, I was like, am I doing something shady? Like, do they think I'm like robbing them? What's going on?
Yeah, so true. I feel like in Korea, even like, you know, whenever you go to like Olive Young and the workers like they like
Oh my
walk
gosh.
around like hawks and go like 도움 필요하시면 말씀해 주세요.
That was the Olive Young accent. Oh God.
I don't know. I feel like that for me was like a
culture
major.
shock.
Yeah. I was like, damn, bro, and they just keep yelling. Yeah. But
Wait,
anyways.
Gina, don't you have that thing where it's like you being in uni here is so glazable to the parents and like the people, like the relatives in Korea? Because it's like, I get like KakaoTalk calls, right? And then they're like, oh, so like you started uni, huh? And then I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, oh, which uni? And then they go, oh, UNSW, so that's basically like the national university, right? And so they're like, damn, that's basically Seoul there. And then I'm like, hey, glazing so hard.
US 20, yeah, exactly.
It's actually like you can glaze your like uni degree here so hard, and they're like,
so
oh yeah, like
true.
what are you studying? And you go, psychology, and then they're like,
No, that literally happened to me before. Like, I have a family friend in Korea. She's like, oh, what are you studying? I was like, I'm studying psychology. She's like,
wait,
she's like telling other people that I study med. I'm like,
oh yeah, because basically we're like part of like the elite. Like in Korea, it's like if you're a psychologist, you're in the elite. You're making bank, right? And then there's just us who like we're low-key bumming around, and we're like, hey, we got into uni, like.
Well, I think a really big culture difference, right? Is psychology here is like kind of budget. Like everyone's like hears you do psychology, like, oh, you're being jobless, right? But in China, because when you say psychology in Chinese, it has doctor at the end, right? So they're like, whoa, wait, you're actually gonna be so rich in like the future. Oh my god, like they think you're like some like specialist who like makes absolute like top of like, yeah.
yeah, I also had a relative in Australia that I didn't talk to for a while. My parents told them I was doing psych, and like the difference between that, the Korean response, and like the Aussie response, they're like, bro, she's not gonna have any money. I'm like, oh my god. Okay. But yeah.
Cause, girl, I just said UNSW, and they're like, oh, you said I know someone who used to teach at USID, and I'm like, okay, good for you, but that's not me. Yeah. My grandparents literally tell like their friends that I study at USID because no one knows UNSW. Bro, me
Like-
too.
That's crazy. I mean,
I think people would know Sydney more than New South Wales. So like, yeah, I think that's. They don't know that, but they should look at the QS rankings. Where Sydney is. Anyways.
Okay. Yeah, so I think from what you guys said, I think a lot of the culture shocks came from like, you know, the education system, public transport. Totally agree. I've lived here all my life, but yes, I agree. Yeah. Did you guys have any like embarrassing moments from when you were trying to like fit in with the dominant culture? Can you guys like remember any?
I had one, but it was okay. I tried to fit in by ordering a hamburger at the canteen instead of bringing my own food, right? And the really this is a culture shock, right? We have squeezy packets of tomato sauce, right?
Yes.
I don't know how to use one, so I thought you just like, I thought you like peel it open, right? So I peeled it open, it went all in my face, and my teacher had to take me to like wash it off. And bro, I never had a hamburger ever again. Yeah. It was, but like the other kid also did. Like there's a kid next to me who also did the same. So I think mine's just like age thing.
Even I still can't open those properly. Yeah, I still can't open those properly. Anyone else have any embarrassing moments?
You know mine. I will stop slapping
Doyoyoyo.
people.
Doyoyo.
Mine was less of a trying to fit in and more of me trying to figure out train systems here. Cause why is it a maze? Like, I live near Central. It's already a maze for people that live here. Me, I did not know where I was going. I was like running around and I was like, wait, the light rail isn't in here? And I was like, wait, I'm out there. And then when I got to the light rail station, I was looking back and forth and I'm like, which one do I go on? Like, what is happening? Cause like, I don't know, maybe I'm dumb, but like, I'm used to, like, we don't have like public transportation where I'm from. It's either you have a car or you stay home. Yeah, and like, we technically have buses in the city, but they're kind of janky. Like the doors don't close. They're driving and the doors are open. Like,
Damn.
No, I did that. We have like these red buses that are kind of like taxis, but they're like van type things. And one time my red bus did not stop. I think he forgot we were in the back, so me and my friend had to jump out.
What the?
Yeah. Yeah. We were like, hello, and like the guy was like radio on, just driving, like.
Oh my
Thank God we
days.
already paid him before too, cause like I'd feel bad if I had to jump out and like chase down the car to try and pay him. Like,
Whoa.
yeah.
Wait, for you two, like, did you guys know English enough when you came here? Like, I know you said you didn't, right? Because I think when I was in like kindergarten, sometimes I'd have like a lot of trouble like communicating. So I'll just like speak Korean to them sometimes. And so I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to say this. So I just say it in Korean and then I expect them to know, right? Or I just go to like one of my Korean friends that my dad made.
I was like in a predominantly like pretty Western white like primary school, right? So like I was the only Chinese kid, and we had a buddy system. I think it helped a lot. Like you have like a kid take you around kind of thing, and I don't know how I got through those days because I can't communicate with them. So I probably use like hands. My grandma signals. They probably thought like I just couldn't speak. Period. Like, because my grandma before like I went in, right, she's like, oh, if you don't know what to say, right, just use hand symbols. So
That's lucky
maybe
smart,
they thought
though.
I was just like Yeah, what about you?
No, I did not know enough. Like, English is a mandatory subject in China, but they teach you like really basic things like motorcycle, airplane. I'm like, how would I use that in like how would I apply that in a primary school context? But I remember like in my WeChat moments, if I find it, I said something about I only knew like 30% of what my teacher was saying, and it's all like the really basic words. So I missed I know the word like homework, but I'd miss all like the keywords that come after it. So I'm like, I don't know what actually the homework is. But then like I just speak in Chinese to like that one designated Chinese friend, and hopefully like it works out. But yeah, it's a process of kind of immersing yourself in like the language, and then eventually you would go from like 30 to like 50 to 70 to 100. But it's really hard when you first start off because they're kind of like speaking like and you don't know you don't know what's going on, right? Yeah.
Wait, did you have to do like the kindergarten test? Because I had a test that I needed to do. Like I pulled up like fresh off the freaking plane, right? Like I like pull up to the kindergarten and they're like, "Aight, we're gonna test you now." And then they like show me like these like pictures and they're like, "Oh, like do you know what this is?" And I don't know English, right? And then I think they showed me like a picture of like a stop sign or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, stop, right?" And then they were like, okay, what does it do?" And I was like, stop, bro, stop. And then I think they like graded me and then they put me into like certain classes.
Wait, I think I had that. Like you reminded me. It's like triggered like a
Yeah,
context in my,
real.
like, memory, bro. Okay, I remember they had like an interview, right? Before you go into like kindergarten, they bring your parents in and they ask you questions. I
Wait,
forgot what they
yo,
asked
didn't
me.
you go to Epping
Yeah.
West?
I did.
Because I went to Epping, because we all went to the same primary school,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
I did the test at EWPS.
Yeah. Wait, I kind of remember now because like there was like a talk in like the
Yeah.
office, And then like the principal sat me and my mom down. And then
Dog,
they were
mine
like-
was not at the office.
Oh, okay. Like I was in year 5, so maybe it was a
Oh.
bit different. But like they did.
Wait,
talk to
Gina,
me.
were you there in kindergarten?
Yeah, I was.
What happened to your
That
test?
I didn't have a test. I don't remember any of that.
Maybe
They
it's 'cause
profiled
she's not
me.
fresh off the
They-
plane.
No, I thought everyone did it though.
Well, I probably did. I just don't remember. Like, I don't know.
No,
I have
because
no
I
idea.
remember sitting there and then I was like, damn, I don't know how to say anything. And then she just gave me like a fairy sticker and I was like, yes!
They gave me a jelly cup. That's why I remember this.
Is
I
that why you got
remember.
culture shock?
Well, I remember the classroom I was in. It was like green, and then I finished whatever I did right, and they gave me a jelly cup, and I never got one again because my parents didn't want me to like order canteen food. Oh my god, it's like coming back.
Wait, but I did go to ESL. If that, yeah.
I didn't go ESL.
Oh.
I somehow
Stop.
I was just
No
yeah. Maybe I was like
Maybe
a
they were
fast
asking you
learner
if you
or
wanted
something.
ESL. You said stop.
But maybe they thought I was just really introverted or something. Cause like sometimes like I like didn't know how to say anything, so I'd just be like, zzz, like you know.
Yeah. We went to Like I went to ESL and they told like they read Roald Dahl to us, like the book. But yeah. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. Wait, funny story. I met so my ESL teacher was like this lady, right? I met her daughter at EY Showcase.
Huh?
Anyways, very funny. She's like a consultant. Yeah.
How did you even figure that out?
I have no idea. Long story. Involves doxing people, so I will stop now.
Just a plug. EY Showcase is coming up soon on the PsychSoc page. You want to check that out?
You mean the EY case comp?
Yeah, EY case comp. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else wanting to add to that? Oh, it was we're talking about like
I went on a tangent. I was like, oh, like, did you know the language before coming here?
okay, the language before coming here. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was lucky that one like buddy that had to translate for the new Korean kids. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. In my accommodation, like most of the people that stay there are international Chinese students. I apparently look Chinese, so the amount of people that come up to me speaking in like Mandarin to me, and I don't know what they're saying, by the way. I don't speak the language. I've had 4 people come up to me in the laundry room asking for help using it. They only speak Mandarin to me. I'm talking back to them in English. I somehow am answering correctly. Don't know what that's. They'd be like, say something, and I'd be like, oh yeah, so that's not dry because the washing machine, this one particular, like isn't that good. So I'd recommend using these ones because these ones dry the best. But this one, And then she'd be like, she'd say something, and I'd be like, yeah, some of them don't work well. I don't even know if I'm answering correctly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, this washing machine's really bad.
That's the weird part is that she's like talking to me back, and I'm just like in a way that makes me think I'm answering correctly because she's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, wait, where's the bathroom? I was like, oh, so that's the dry button.
And I was like, oh yeah, don't use medium temperature, use high temperature because the medium one doesn't work that well.
Oh my god. Oh, that's really good.
This isn't about second language,
Yeah.
but I've kind of noticed that like people from Sydney and Brisbane have different Australian accents.
Oh, they have different accents?
Yeah. I can't really I don't know how to explain it, but we kind of sound different.
Do you want to demonstrate?
No. I don't know, but just like look at clips.
Wait, so would you say like Sydney's like more bogan or like?
No, yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, Queensland's more bogan, but like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but
Okay, that's interesting.
My international friend said something about this, right? And then they were like, oh yeah, so I went up to Brisbane. No, I came to Sydney and I was like, man, what is this? This is not what I thought Australia would be like. Because they were like, this is basically another Asian country. Like, that's what they said to me. And I was like, that's honestly so valid. And then they went to Brisbane and they're like, oh, this is Australia. Like, they went to like, am I going to get cancelled?
Guys, Brisbane was where I saw my first ginger. Guys, I thought ginger people weren't real for such a long time until I came to Brisbane and I saw like a whole group of them and I was like, whoa. And then I kid you not, after that holiday, I went back to school. Guess what? 6 gingers at my school. When I've never seen one before. We've never had one at school before. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, wow, like they really got summoned here.
I look think that areas Sydney have different accents, cause like when you go like to different areas, like you either get more bogan or like more like even there's like a posh Australian accent and there's a bogan Australian accent. Like when you go to Bondi, it's like they bring out the posh accent. It's like, well, this is so different.
Wait, don't you know the selective school kid accent?
I'm
There's this like thing, and then they were saying that like selective like school kids have a certain accent and it's different.
Is it because they're predominantly like Asian?
No, but I think it's like the words that we use. I think it's more like a lingo thing. Like, oh, like I think one of the examples were like, oh, so real, or something like that. I don't remember. Look it up, guys. It's a thing.
do non-selective schools to say real like.
So real, like, oh, so real.
So real.
Like it's like type shit. It's like type shit, but it's so real.
Well, actually no. I kind of feel that. Do you know how like Eunice W have our own lingo? Like when I say exy to people, they're like, what the hell are you saying? Like,
Wait, are you serious?
yeah. Oh, chanda apparently I heard is a British word for like you vomit. So apparently Eunice W is like has really British lingo for some
So
reason.
it's like, oh, chunda.
Yeah. Would you like to chanda with me at the toilet? Like. Yeah. I also recently learned a word, tacking.
What
Is
the
that-
hell's that?
Apparently it's like when you like, yeah, that.
Like tacking is like tactically throwing up. So it's like, cause you know, like, cause
Hello?
sometimes when you're drinking, you're like riding the wave of like you could throw up if you're not careful, and like then the next day you're gonna feel like really shit, right? So like yeah, I've done it before. It works really well. It's like just before you go to bed, you like intentionally make yourself throw up, and then like you're gonna have like the best sleep of your like. Cause sometimes when you sleep when you're like about to throw up, it feels like shit. You're like surfing. It's like you're on like a boat, but like you make yourself throw up. Then you have like a really nice sleep, and then you wake up perfectly fine the next day. And it's like kind of crazy.
Hey.
I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're in this situation, I've lucky never like okay. It just be like, no, it's like. Hannah's got it.
Like I learned it because I think it's Adrian told me, oh, this person was tacking yesterday, and I was like, what do you mean by tacking? Honestly I thought what I thought tacking was is like, you know when before you vomit you go like that thing, right? I do that a lot before I vomit because you can't get it out yet. But I thought that was tough. So yeah. So professionally in a sentence it means to pretend to throw up before throwing up maybe.
Wait, I just thought of an example of a word that I say differently that I noticed. So like, my degree is advanced science, and I say advanced, but I noticed people in Sydney say advanced, and that was my first one.
Advanced.
Wait, I also didn't know schedule also had to be schedule. Schedule.
Who says schedule?
Oh, the lecturer in my yeah. They're like, oh,
schedule.
please check your weekly schedules.
Oh, hell no. Well, anyways, thank you for that in-depth explanation of what tacking means. Okay. Next question. Do you guys think you've fully kind of adapted to, you know, how do you say it? Australia. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't swim, so no.
What?
Okay, I think my learning curve was probably like a lot lower than a lot of international students just because I grew up here. But like, especially coming to UNSW, I feel like you probably don't fully adapt to like the regular Australian culture just because the majority is a bit different here than outside of uni. But I think like for me, like in like I work in a pub, so like the environment there is like very typically Australian, and that's like was like good for adjusting to what's like standard. Like it's like forced me to actually like pay attention to things like the NRL, which like I could like really not care about, but like people will come up to me and start a conversation on it, and like I've learned enough that like I can have a conversation about like football and stuff. So I think like just like the more experiences you get, the easier it is to like fully like adjust. So if you like keep yourself isolated, you're never really gonna like fully integrate.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like getting experience is good.
True that.
I think for me, like, because I'm really in touch with my culture. Like, I watch drama, I would speak Chinese, I did Chinese HSC. But, like, I literally think I can never be fully adapted into, like, Australian culture just because it's, like, two sides of me, right? Like, I have my friend group in, like, not high school, but, like, I have friends that are predominantly, like, Western, and I also have friends that are really Asian. So the two sides, like, as Logan says, it helps you learn, like, both sides of the culture. Like, recently I learned how to golf. I know what cricket is. I learned that cricket's going on for 5 days. Yeah. So. Do you know what
She
cricket
doesn't know
is?
what cricket is?
Basically, a cricket.
It's
You have basically, it's like. Do you know what baseball is? Cricket is like baseball, but like not baseball. It's like.
so it's like instead of like your typical bat, it's like flat,
Yeah.
and the way you bat is also a bit different.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And like you just like you hit it, and like they run around, and then like you score things.
So
right?
I think it's like baseball. You have to like run around.
Yeah.
But cricket, you just run like back
Run,
and
like, straight.
forth or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I would say I'm integrated in the UNSW culture, but not the Australian culture, because I think it's pretty different.
I feel that too.
Yeah, like low-key, I still don't understand how cricket works, or like, is it like the NR? Is that the right abbreviation? Like NRL, AFL? Like I don't know what the difference is.
Me too.
Like I don't really appreciate the beach, for example, but like I don't think I'm fully Australian. So just
Yeah.
as Hannah said, they're two sides of me, and I will keep them that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Very fair.
I think the biggest difference for me was that like Sydney being like larger population, it's really busy. It's a really busy city, like everyone's doing their thing, whereas in Brisbane like everyone's really chill, laid back. So I think just adapting to like how competitive everyone here is, and like I actually have to try academically, but
Wait, what I'm
Yeah.
hearing from like all this summed up, right? It just Sydney is worse than Brisbane.
no, it's just like you can kind of say like, yeah, it's like kind of like New York compared to like I don't know, yeah, it's just a different vibe. I kind of like that fast-paced vibe, so
Yeah, I don't know. It was a big change for me, a little city girl with only 3 malls and no trains, no buses with working doors. Yeah, I don't, cause technically I've been an Australian citizen my whole life, but I've never like, when everyone asks where I'm from, I always say Thai, like I'm Thai, cause that's just what I grew up with. And now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, like, am I Australian now technically? Cause like I checked the tick that said I'm moving here permanently, so. Like, what does that make me? Where does that leave me? Girl does not know what she is.
Food for thought. Food for thought.
Would you say you're Australian since you've been here your like whole life, basically?
I think I have a similar view to like Yolanda, because I'm also pretty like heavily invested in like both my I think I'm actually more Korean than I am Australian, to be honest. Like, I'm only Australian that I just like went to the school system. Like, I experienced the education system here. I have to use the transport system every day. Like, in that way, I'm like Australian. But spiritually, I think, definitely personality wise, Australian. But I think culturally, spiritually, I think more Korean. Yeah. Yeah.
If you go to Korea, you're Australian. If you come back to Australia,
No, yeah,
you're
I know.
Korean.
It's literally like that. I don't even know anymore. It's such a yeah. Anyone else want to have anything more to say? No. Okay. Last 2 questions. So, when you first came to Australia, or when you like first left Australia, do you think that that place was like welcoming, or like multicultural, things like that? Yeah, I think especially this question might be more applicable to like coming to Australia, because everyone says like Australia is like a multicultural country and things like that. So how did you guys think about that when you first came to Australia?
I feel like it low-key depends on like which suburb you're in, low-key, because like EWPS. Like if you know,
Very,
you know,
very Asian.
like we're
Yeah.
very like that area is very Asian, so it's not like
Yeah.
it's not that different, low-key.
Yeah. And you
So-
can find like, there are a lot of Chinese people. Like you can definitely find someone who's like your background.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
people who have like the same experience as you.
Yeah. Versus Hannah.
I got a whole like racism package when I came to Australia. I can't lie. Like, do you know how like in American like TV shows or when like people talk about like discrimination or stuff, right? I feel like I've experienced majority of that, but as a kid, it's like less, like, you don't realize as much. Like when I look back now, it's like, whoa, they say some racist shit to me. Like, especially like when it comes to like your food, what you do, right, and like your family like dynamics. It's like really, really different. And my school was predominantly not me. Like, I was actually the minority, right? Like, yeah. Like, there's a lot of small things they do. Like, I remember, like, bringing food, because I bought my own, like, Asian food, right? I believe there's a really big, massive change, like, attitude towards, like, Asian culture, like, when I was in 5 year 6. Because I remember, like, in year 3 or 4, like, before that, it was, like, you bring your own food. Oh, they say it's, like, fried rice. Like, ew. That's not my sandwich I usually have. My 2 breads and a slice of cheese. But, like, towards, like, year 5, year 6, it started becoming more, like, whoa, like, you have all this shit and I have 2 slices of cheese.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember I started not being able to eat my own lunch because all my friends started eating my lunch. And, like, I don't know. There's, like, a massive difference. And I don't know when that started. Like,
K-pop,
actually-
yeah, K-pop.
actually, it might have been.
Mate,
It's like
yeah.
after Gangnam Style. It's like, whoa, your food's actually interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that was a cultural revolution.
Yeah. Actually, it was. I feel like it.
Yeah, because I feel like in like primary schools in Australia, something like that, it's not really outright racism, but just very like subtle,
Yeah.
internalized
Yeah.
racism.
I think another big thing is like all my friends, like even through high school, right? Because families like all really connected.
Yeah.
Like they'll do like house parties together and stuff because the families invite each other, right? But because my family's more like, it's not because they don't like me, it's because it's like hard to connect because my parents,
Yeah.
they have their Asian friends, like all their friend groups are Asian because they were like first like generation immigrants. So like it's on a spiritual level, it's still hard to connect with people, and like, I think you realize a lot of that when you like move to like a different place.
I think Australia is quite welcoming, multicultural, a lot of people from different backgrounds. But yeah, I think there is a lot of like internalized racism, as you said previously. Like when thinking back to when I was a kid, there's not many Asians in the Gold Coast, so it would be really small things like eye pulling and stuff. But when you're a kid, you don't realize.
There was
that
a song they did. It's like Chinese,
Japanese,
blah, 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 blah. And it's like they pull the eye
Yes.
shapes.
yes.
And as a kid, I'd be so confused why they're doing
Me
that.
too.
But then
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I remember the creepiest thing that happened to me. It was like a really old white man came up to me, and she was like, "Yeah, I was a kid. I was like year 5," and he was like, "Oh, what like, what
type of
what race? Yeah, what race are you, right?" And I was like, "I'm Chinese," and he goes like, "My wife is Chinese." I'm like, "Hello." Like also like the assumption that like because you're like one culture, right, they immediately think you know the other person. Like it's like, oh, I'm like Chinese, you must know Miss Mary from like the other side of Sydney, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like as a whole, like Australia's probably more welcoming than like a lot of other countries, but the casual racism is like it's peak in this country.
Adding on to this, like I live kind of near Haymarket. I was so surprised, guys. I was walking around. It didn't feel like I left Thailand at all because you'd hear Thai at every corner, and I'd be like, "Am I in Bangkok right now?" Like, yeah. But onto like the casual racism. Specifically, whenever I tell white guys that I'm Thai, they always go, "Oh, so are you a lady boy?" Yeah, it's so annoying. Like, bro, stop.
Things people say, man.
Yeah, and it's like, like I've been hearing it all my life, even from like white people in Thailand. I'm like, yeah, mind you, 13 years old.
Yeah, no. White
Like-
tourists in Thailand kind of
They're
kind of PMO.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then they always come back, I'm a new person, spiritual awakening. the Buddha has spoken to me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like another big issue, right? Is like a lot of like even Asian kids have like insecurity about their own culture, and they put that on a lot of other people. Like a lot of the casual racism, surprisingly, I get is from other Asian kids, like even my own race. Like they will like talk about like, oh, eating dogs, right? And then they'll be like, oh, like even if they're Chinese, they're like, oh, you're also Chinese. Do you eat dogs too? And I'm like, what do you mean by that? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's also because like Australia has a kind of culture where people just like keep playing along because it's like not that deep. Otherwise, they'll go like, "Oh, mate, it's not that serious,
just a
mate.
joke."
Like it's just a joke, mate." Like, I don't know. It's kind of problematic.
adding on to this, I don't know if this is just a me thing, but there's like a lot of like, I don't know how else to describe it aside from like fetishization of like Asian women specifically, because like, guys, I get approached by like old ass men, like bald, wrinkly old men, and they're like, "Oh, you're Asian," and then one time this one guy fully went like this to me, and I was like,
Yeah.
like, back away, please.
Also, another funny thing, I think I told someone about this. Like, they think it's like, they think it's mean to you to scream hello at you in your native language. Like, you're walking on the streets and they go like, ni hao. Like, they think that's in an accent, right? And they think it's like really mean. Like, they think it's bullying you. Like, imagine I say good day to you. Like, yeah.
Oh, I got you there. I got you there. How are you? Oh.
Like, I'm proud of you for speaking my language. Like, that's a switch.
Yeah, bro, the amount of times I heard like ni hao or konnichiwa. I heard konnichiwa in Thailand. I'm like, what? I know, yeah, it's so strange. I hate the casual racism here. But aside from that, I feel like it's definitely a lot more multicultural and welcoming than a lot of other countries. Yeah. Okay, last question though. Okay, well, we just spoke on like casual racism and all of that. So on that note, what are some stereotypes about like international students or like as a person from like another culture coming to Australia? Do you see any like stereotypes
I
about
think,
them?
like, stemming from Yo-Yo's thing, right? Cultural differences cause the stereotypes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, people don't realize, like, for example, like some, like, I don't know what Chinese habits they are, but like, there's some habits that people think it's immediately like bad just because you've never seen it before, right? Like, stereotypes of international students, I know people are like, oh, they're really like, they use AI to do their work, they like use ChatGPT, they don't like care about like assignments and stuff, right? But I know a lot of international students who actually genuinely care. Like, I have a lot of friends who go up to me, like, oh, can you like help me, like, not help me, like, you know, like, there's a lot of things I'm like stuck on, but they generally try to learn. But most people see the side where they're like just trying to get past with a degree to go home and do whatever, right? But there's like, my family hosts international students. Like, I have like 2 kids. I don't have kids, but there's 2 kids in my house who are like year 10 and like year 9, right?
Yeah.
And they generally actually try really hard. Like, this kid's trying to get into med school. Like, she's studying every night, like day and night. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like just with like all the stereotypes as well, you usually see the like the bad ones and you think that's the standard. But like there are a lot of people who do like try genuinely, but like they just, since they are the type to try genuinely, they wouldn't be like out there boasting about like what they do, like how much they do for this degree. So you don't really hear about their perspective. So you kind of like generalize all like the international students into like they don't study, they chat GPT all their like essays. So like
Or they're just rich.
yeah, yeah.
Rich is a stereotype.
Yeah.
Because not every international student is LV, Louis Vuitton, like Burberry, like hanging out with like yachts and stuff. Like, there's actually people who come in with like they're working their ass off. They like generally trying to like make a place for themselves here, and you just don't see that type. Like,
What about you guys?
Yeah, like a lot of people assume I have money, bro. No, like in my when I'm back home in Thailand, like I can admit I'm like on the richer side. Like my tuition was like $500,000 a year, which was, yeah. But cause my dad's like, he works internationally, so when he sends the money, like the exchange rate makes it a lot more for us. Yeah, so that like contributed to it. But like here, like guys, I have $90 in my account right now, like, and also like adding on to like the whole like ChatGPT's type thing, like a lot of people assume that like some international students, particularly what I know is for like Chinese international students, that they're like not that smart, that they're just here to like mess around or whatever. But in reality, like these people are smart. It's just that like maybe their English skills aren't as well. So like they can't translate it. Like
Yeah,
their
you can't really
intelligence as well to
communicate
you.
that.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like? Well, when you think about stereotypes, are there some stereotypes where you like actually agree with some of them? Like they don't have to be like bad ones. Like
Chinese people are loud, and I 100% agree with that. But that's literally embedded in my culture. Cause
so are Koreans.
yeah, like, cause I think it's like I love it because like when you go home, it's like, whoa, like this energy, this family, right? You can feel homey. When I go to like a lot of my other friends' houses, right? It's like silence. I can't watch TikTok with like 2 bars. Sorry, this is like I had to watch TikTok with 1 bar of volume. Otherwise, it's too loud. I'm in a room. But in at home, I'm like literally sitting on the sofa. I'm lying like sprawled across the sofa and I'm watching like on full volume. It's fun because my parents are also loud. Like, honestly, I like that loud stereotype.
I think there's a stereotype that like the international students like to group together, which I think is true because if you're in a foreign country and you see unfamiliar faces, you would like naturally like drift towards like people of like your own ethnicity because at least you have something to say, right? Like I do admit that like there are things people say about like, are you really here for the like just the experience or are you here for like just your degree? But I just think like the grouping itself is like sort of, I wouldn't blame them for it because if I was in a new place, like okay, if I was like abducted to like Mars and I see like a whole bunch of like people from Mars and I see like people from Earth, I'd be like, okay, I don't want to like hang out with these like Mars people, right? Like maybe that's like a really bad like metaphor, but like that's what I feel like it would be like, because that was like me when I first came here as well. I feel like it's okay.
I feel like it's also because of that. People also think international students are really closeted and they don't really go out of their own way to socialize with other people. But I feel like, yeah, you're in a whole other country. Like, naturally, you would gravitate to people who have the same, you know, background, interests as you. So, yeah, so true.
Can I add on to this? This is, like, not my experience, but it's my friends' experiences that are in Thailand. Hey! What's up, brothers? Sorry. But, like, my friends, like, I have some, like, friends from Thailand that like stay domestic and are studying in Thailand. They tend to gravitate towards other international school kids in their Thai uni still, because like we grew up in like that whole international school kid culture. It's very different from like the like domestic experience. So like while yes we're still Thai, we don't really connect as well with like other Thai kids that like grew up like in like not international schools compared to like other Thai kids that grew up international, because guess what, we also don't fit in with the international students that didn't grow up in Thailand. So it's like hard to find like a community that's like, you know.
According to psychology, grouping is a common human norm. So like the thing I don't get, right, is like other people get grace for like not like being like outward, like not approaching people, right? Because that they just group that as introverted, right? Or like just, you know. But when it comes to like international students, they're like, oh, just because they're international students, they don't want to talk to you. Yeah. Like, and also like the attitude towards international students is also why they group together. Because like there's a lot of like internalized like stereotyping, stigma. Like I know a lot of people like, oh, there's international students in my class. I don't want to talk to them because they'll bring my grade down to ChatGPT my assignment, right? There's like a lot of those attitudes that make why, like that is the reason why they kind of trying to stay in like comfort zone.
Wise words. Yeah. Thank you for watching episode 6 of Freudian Slip. We'll see you next week or in 2 weeks' time.
Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to my neighbor's dog. Shout out to many dogs. Yeah, thank you.
Shout out to international students.
Shout out to international students.
Oh, shout out to international students. You have people here who care.